Hey guys, welcome back to another video and I hope you guys are doing extremely great. And today we are going to solve this question, distribute candies. And for this question, we will go through two different approaches. So make sure you stick around till the end with your pen and paper and let's get started. Now let's first understand what the question is saying. So we are given an array of integer where each integer represent a different type of a candy. For example, these two are same. So they are representing a type of a candy. These two are same. So they are also representing another type of candy. These two are also same. So these are also representing another type of candy. So here in this example, we have three unique type of candies and total we have six candies, right? And total we have six candies here. Now the question is, this is a lady Alice and she can only eat half of the candies. Means whatever the candies she has, she can only eat half of the candies. For example, in this case, she has total six candies, but she can only eat half of it. Means she has the permission to eat three candies. Now our task is to return the maximum number of different types of candies she can eat. Make sense? So the question is, whatever the total number of candies this lady has, she can only eat half of them. Means if the total candies are 6, then she can only eat 3 out of it. Okay. And our task is to return the maximum number of different types of candies she can eat. Maximum number of different types of candies. And we already know the different type of candies in this example is 3. And she can only eat 3. So the answer is going to be very simple. One candies from each type she can eat. So how many different type of candies she can eat? She can eat 3 different type of candies. So 3 is going to be my answer. Let's take another example. Let's take this one. Okay. In the question, it is clearly mentioned that n is always going to be even. Okay. And here you can see the total number of candies we have is 8. But this lady Alice can only eat 4 of it. Okay. And let's figure out the total number of unique candies we have here in this scenario. So here you can see we have total 5 different type of candies here. Now Alice can eat 4, but she has a choice of 5. Okay. And we need to return the maximum number of different type of candies she can eat. So when she can eat 4, whatever the choice she is going to have, she only has the permission to eat 4, right? So one candies from each of these 4 she can eat. Now it's totally up to her whether she is going to take one candies from these 4 or one candies from these 4. In short, the story is she has a permission to eat 4 candies and total unique type of candies she has 5. Okay, now we need to return the maximum number of different types of candies. So if she want to eat different types of candies, and we need to return the maximum number of it, and total we know is 5 unique type of candies we have, but she has a permission to eat 4. So one candies she can eat, right? One candies she is going to eat from these 4 or from these 4. It's totally up to her. Now let's discuss another example. Then I will explain you the analogy here. So let's discuss this example. You can see here total candies are 4, but this lady Alice can only eat 2, right? And you can see all these numbers are same. So total unique candies we have is 1. The total unique type of candies we have is 1. Okay, this is the only type of candy she has. Now she wants to eat 2 candies, but she has no other option except this one. So she has to eat these 2 candies from this particular type only, right? So what is going to be my answer? 1 is going to be my answer. Now you notice one thing. This is total and this is unique. This is the total number of candies she is allowed to eat, and this is the total number of unique candies she has. Okay, same in this example. This is the total number of candies she is allowed to eat, and this is the total number of unique candies she has. So you noticed one thing. In this example, the answer was 4, and in this example, the answer was 1, right? So what does it mean? We have unique and we have total. Okay, in this case, the total was 4 and the unique was 5. But in this case, the total was 2, but the unique was 1. Here, in this case, the upper one, the answer was 4. And in this case, the answer is 1. So you noticed one thing. Whatever the minimum we have from these two, that is going to be my answer. If 4 is minimum, then 4 is going to be my answer. If here 1 is minimum, then 1 is going to be my answer. Why is it so? Because it is very basic thing, right? If she can eat 2 candies, but she has only one choice, then she is going to eat these 2 from this one, right? So that is why only one type of candy she can eat. She has 5 different choices here, but she is allowed to eat only 4. So she can eat one candies from 4 out of these 5, right? So that is why this 4 is going to be my answer. Now you know the concept. Whatever the minimum you have from these 2, that is going to be my answer. But the thing is, how we are going to figure out what is the total number of unique candies we have. So in that case, what we need to do, we need to think. And what we need to think, let's say this is an example. Okay, and in the question it is not mentioned that the array that is given to us is sorted. So first thing we need is we need to figure out the total number of unique type of candies. So for that, if I sort this array, I know whatever the same elements we are going to have in this array, they will sit next to each other. So if I sort this array will become like this, right? After sorting, this array will look like this. And here you can see the total number of candies we have is 8, but Alice can eat only 4. And here the unique candies are 3. Okay, she is allowed to eat 4, but she has a choice of 3 unique type of candies. So what she can do, she will eat one from these 3, and remaining one she can eat from any of these 3. So the answer is going to be 3. Means whatever the minimum we have from these two, that is going to be my answer. Okay, so one thing for sure I know is if I sort the array, all the same elements are going to sit next to each other, and with that we can count the total number of unique type of candies we have. Okay, so that's how we are going to solve this question using this first approach. What I am doing, first I am sorting the array. Okay, and with this sorting, I know one thing for sure, all the same elements are going to sit next to each other, and with that I can easily find out how many total number of unique candies I have. I will initialize a variable unique types equals to 1, because the first element in the array is definitely going to be unique, right? So I will start my loop from I equals to 1, and what I'm checking, if candy type I not equal to candy type I minus 1, means if this array element is not equal to this one, then only I am increasing my counter. If these are same, then I'm not doing anything. Okay, so my loop will start from here, and I already have 1 in my unique type. Okay, so I will check, is this equal to this one? Yes it is. So I'm not gonna increase the counter, I will just move ahead. Now I am here, I will check, is this not equal to this one? Yes it is. They both are unequal, they both are not equal, so that's why I'm gonna increase my counter to 2. Now I'm here again, I'm gonna check, is this equal to this one? Yes it is. So I'm not gonna do anything, I will just skip this line. Okay, I will move ahead. Now I am here, I will check, is this equal to this one? No it's not. I will increase the counter. Now I am here, I will check, is this equal to this one? Yes it is. So I'm not gonna do anything, I will just skip this. So what I am doing, I am just counting the unique type of candies only. Okay, and once I figured out the unique type of candies, the next thing is very simple. First we need to find out the total number of candies she is allowed to eat by doing candy type dot length by 2, because she is allowed to eat only half of the candies, and then we are returning whatever the minimum we have from these two. So that's how we can solve this question using this sorting approach. And here in sorting, we took n log n time complexity, and here we are traversing the array in a single pass. So here the time complexity is going to be big O of n. So the total time complexity is big O of n log n plus big O of n. So you can ignore the less dominating terms. Okay, final time complexity will come out to be big O of n log n. And we are not using any extra space here, so that's why the space complexity is going to be constant. So this is going to be the time complexity, and this is going to be the space complexity. Now let's discuss another approach, because in this approach what we did sorting. Okay, what we did sorting, but I don't want to sort it now. I want to do it using some other data structure. So I already told you in my previous videos that whenever you are in a situation where you need to find unique elements, what should be the first idea that should come in your mind? Think of hash map or hash set. Okay, in this case I'm gonna use hash set because set contains unique elements, so that's why I'm gonna use set. So if this is my set and these are the array elements that are given to us, okay, I will check, I will start traversing the array and I will start storing these elements in my set. So I will start from here, I will check, is this element already in my set? No it's not. I'm gonna add it. Now I am here, I will check, can I add this element? No, we cannot add this element in my set because this element already exists and set contains unique element, so that's why we cannot add this element. Now we will move ahead. Is this element already exist in the set? No it's not. So let's add it. Now we will move ahead. Is this element already exist in the set? Yes it is. So we cannot add it. Now let's move ahead. Is this element already exist in the set? No it's not. So now let's add it. Okay, now we are here. Is this element already exist in the set? Yes it is. So we cannot add this. So we know the size of this set is 3, which indicates that the total number of unique candies we have is 3. Okay, and how much she is allowed to eat? N by 2. That is, if 6 is the total candy she has, then she can eat only 3. And here you know these are the unique type of candies, and I already told you the concept, whatever the minimum you have from these two, unique type and the total, whatever the minimum you have from these two, just return that. That is going to be my answer. Whatever the minimum you have from these two, that minimum is going to be my answer. So here what we are doing, instead of sorting, we are using set here because we know the property of set as it contains unique element. And here also I need to find out the unique element. Okay, so that's why I'm using set here. So instead of sorting as well, we can use set in order to solve this question. So that's how we can solve this question with this second approach. What we are doing, first we are traversing the array and storing all the unique elements to this set, and then we are finding out the size of this set with this Okay, that indicates the total number of unique type of candies we have. Okay, and how much she is allowed to eat, that we can find out with this. And then finally we are returning whatever the minimum we have from these two, that we are returning. Now let's discuss about the time and space complexity in this particular example. So here we are using extra space in terms of storing all the unique element in this set. So we might end up storing n element, so that's why the space complexity is going to be big of n. Right, now let's discuss the time complexity. So we are traversing the array. Okay, if this is the array, then we might end up traversing all the elements. Okay, the time complexity is also going to be big of n. So that's how we can solve this question with these two approaches. Please make sure to like, share and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video with another DSA concept.